Hello students, it's your science class and today we will discuss about the chapter Structure of Atom. About the atoms and molecule we already discussed in the third chapter. According to Dalton atomic theory, atom is indivisible, right? Two or more atoms combine to form molecule and molecule together form matter. Now, charge particle in matter. Today we will discuss charge particle in matter. Before discussing it, we will do an activity. Take a plastic comb, rub it on your hair and bring the small bit of paper in front of it, in front of the comb. What would happen? The comb will attract these small papers, right? Similarly, take a glass rod and silk cloth, rub it. After rubbing, bring a balloon in front of the glass rod. What would happen? We find that on rubbing, these material get electrified, means they contain charge. Now question arises, from where these charges comes? These charges exist within the atom, right? Charges exist within the atom. But we studied that atom is indivisible. So the Dalton atomic theory fails here. Here there are the two subatomic particles of the atom. One is the electron and one is the proton. Electron was discovered by the J.J. Thomson. Before discovering the electrons, E. Goldstein discovered the presence of new radiation through a gas discharge, which called canal rays, and led to the discovery of the another subatomic particle, which is called proton, whose mass is 2000 times greater than the mass of the electron. Now, electron is represented by the E and proton is represented by the P. Electron have -1 unit charge and proton have +1 unit charge. Mass of the proton is 2000 times the mass of the electron and mass of the electron is negligible, right? It has been found that electron and proton are the two subatomic particles of the atoms and proton exists within the atom. Now we have to study about the structure of the atom, how these proton and electrons are distributed within the atoms. Next we have topic structure of atom. Structure in the order to study the structure of atom, many scientists give their theories. First of all, J.J. Thomson's come, but he fails. After that, Rutherford comes, he performed his experiment and gives some postulates, but some points are failed in the Rutherford experiment. After the Rutherford, Bohr's comes, right? First of all, we will discuss the Thomson's model of an atom, right? In Thomson's model of an atom, Thomson proposed the model of an atom to be similar that of the Christmas pudding. The electrons in a sphere of positive charge were like a current in the spherical Christmas pudding. We can also think the watermelon. The positive charge in the atoms are spread all over like a red edible part of the watermelon, while the electrons are stuffed in the positively charged sphere like the seed in the watermelon. So, Thomson's model of atom is also known as watermelon model. Thomson's proposed some postulates. An atom consists of positively charged sphere and electrons are embedded in it. Second, negative and positive charge are equal in magnitude, so the atom as a whole is electrically neutral. J.J. Thomson gave two postulates. First one, the atom consists of the positively charged sphere and electrons are embedded on it. Second, the negative and positive charges are equal in magnitude, so the atom as a whole is electrically neutral. But it could not explain some postulates, so this model will be failed. Right? Although Thomson's model explained that atoms are electrically neutral, the result experiment carried out by other scientists could not be explained by this model. As we will see, the Rutherford comes. Rutherford performed his experiment on the gold foil with the alpha particle. Rutherford was interested in knowing that how the electrons are arranged within the atom. Rutherford designed an experiment for this. In this experiment, fast-moving alpha particles were made to fall on the thin gold foil. In the Rutherford experiment, alpha particles are fall on the gold foil. He selected a gold foil because he wanted as thin a layer as possible. The gold foil was about 1000 atoms thick. Alpha particles are doubly charged helium ions, means alpha particle has two times the charge of the proton and 4 times the mass of the proton. It is very important to remember it. It will help to you in higher classes. It was expected that alpha particles would be deflected by subatomic particles in the gold atoms. Since the alpha particles were much heavier than the proton, he did not expect to see large deflection. This is the gold foil experiment. These are the gold atoms and alpha particles are passing through it. You can see the most of the alpha particle are passes straightly. Some of the alpha particle gets deflected through the small angle and very few, about the 1 out of 12,000 comes back in the same direction. Now, but the alpha scattering experiment gave a totally unexpected result. Following are the observation made in the alpha experiment, Rutherford experiment. Most of fast-moving alpha particle passed straightly through the gold foil. Some of the alpha particles were deflected by the foil by a small angle. Very few, out of 12,000, only one appeared to be rebound. Right? You can see this is the rebound, this is the deflected, and most of the alpha particle go straightly. Right? Following are the conclusion from the alpha particle scattering experiment. Most of the space inside the atom is empty because most of the alpha particle pass through the gold foil undeflected. Very few particles were deflected their path, indicating that the positive charge of the atom occupies a very little space. Third, a very small fraction of alpha particle deflecting by 180 degree, indicating all the positive charge and the mass of the gold atom were concentrated in the small volume within the atom. On the basis of his experiment, Rutherford put forward the nuclear model of the atom, which had the following feature. There is the positively charged center of the atom called nucleus. Nearly whole of the mass is concentrated within that nucleus. The nucleon, the electrons revolve around the nucleus in a well-defined orbit. The size of the nucleus is very small as compared to the size of the atom. These are the postulated by the Rutherford. First, there is the positively charged particle at the center, which is called the nucleus. Whole of the mass is supposed to be concentrated on that nucleus. Electrons revolve around the nucleus in a well-defined orbit. The size of the nucleus is very small as compared to the size of the atom. Next, drawback of Rutherford model. The orbital revolution of the electrons. When the electrons are revolving in a definite orbit, they will accelerate and radiate energy. The revolving electron would lose energy and finally fall into the nucleus. As the electron is revolving and it continuously loses energy, its orbit goes on decreasing, and finally this electron will fall within the nucleus. Hence, matter would not highly unstable. The matter would not exist in the form that we know. We know that atoms is quite stable. If this would happen, that electron fall within the nucleus, the atom will no more stable. But we know that atom is stable. Now, this is the cause of the Rutherford failure. Third scientist come after the Rutherford is the Bohr. He proposed a model for the atom. He postulated that only the certain special orbit known as discrete orbit of the electron are allowed inside the atom. Only the specified orbits are allowed. While revolving in discrete orbit, the electron do not radiate energy. Electron will radiate energy only when it jumps from the one orbit to the another orbit. Right? These orbit or the shells are known as energy level. For example, this is the nucleus and these are the orbits in which the electrons are revolving. These energy levels or shell are named as K, L, M, N, where n equal to 1 for the K shell, n equal to 2 for the L shell, n equal to 3 for the M shell, n equal to 4 for the N shell. Right? These are very, very important. Right? This is the Bohr's model of atom. First of all, he proposed that only the discrete orbits are permissible. While revolving in the discrete orbit, energy do not radiate. Energy radiates when the electron jumps from the one orbit to the another orbit. Next we have neutrons. J. Chadwick discovered another subatomic particle which had no charge and the mass is nearly equal to the mass of the proton. It was eventually named as the neutron, and this particle is known as neutron. Neutron is present in the nucleus, so proton and neutron both exist in the nucleus, and mass of the atom is given as the sum of the mass of the proton and the neutron present in the nucleus. Neutron is discovered by J. Chadwick and it is a neutral particle, and neutron also exists within the nucleus. That's all for today. If you have doubt, then you can call me. Okay, beta. Thank you.